All right, so we're back live again, and internet is now working again. Yeah, there was a hiccup in my router or something. Maybe the internet service here in the building. Who knows? But it looks like everything is back up and running. So I heard, in theory, something Luke was talking, and then it cut out. So what did I miss?
We were talking a few things. So one was, in theory, the Titans, they might have still tokens or mementos from their time before they were imprisoned that are from the world outside of the prison, which could act as a focus for plane shift, as a possible escape route. We also talked about how we know and have ins with some Titans, and we met, I think, an Olympian. I think we met Poseidon as well. We're thinking that maybe talking to Desnobia might be another way to learn more about this, and maybe she even knows a way out of the prison. What else? Were there any more?
The important one is that canonically, Thurgus drinks one bull's strength from the box of alchemical perfection in his protein shakes every day. In the hopes that he is strong enough to lift this bull in.
The belief. I think it's the belief. It makes sense, you know?
Yeah. There might be a way to do it.
But he canonically drinks one of those every day with his first meal.
That's cool. Matt, I pasted a bunch of the text from the legend lores for future reference under Fereosae's divinations. And then, this is somewhat of a revelation about the world in which you live. If Fereosae's spells are true, all things are not as they appear. Or at least there are some nefarious things behind the screen.
I also have a Gaius quest of Desnobia that I know nothing about.
What does that even mean?
The next legend lore you said you were going to do in the evening.
In the evening, at night, while the professor sleeps, I will cast legend lore on Sinclair.
Okay.
Yes.
Give me a stealth check versus the professor's perception check, and then the crawling claw doesn't need to sleep, so it also gets a perception check.
Yes. This one I will keep the results to myself, unless I share little bits here and there.
I mean, Thurgus got rid of a cloak of Elvenkind, just saying.
My stealth is plus 24.
The professor is not known for his perception.
Oh, also, this might come in handy. I am wearing. I have an Unstone, the Life Word Cloak, which has a constant power hide from undead. DC 6.
Oh, perfect.
This is 11 plus my caster stat, which is int. It's actually DC 19 now. Which should hide me from the Crawling Claw.
It hides you automatically from unintelligent undead because the Crawling Claw is a familiar. It has an intelligence score above like 1 or nothing or whatever zombies have.
Yep.
So it's got a will save of plus 11. It looks like on its sheet.
Okay.
You want to give me 3 rolls, Luke? Because this doesn't happen. This doesn't have to happen this night. It happens over whenever opportunistically.
Sure.
Fereosae is able to approach.
Are we doing the crawling claws?
Yeah,
rolls or the professors?
3d20 plus 11.
Yeah.
Okay. You try 3 nights in a row, and eventually you are able to approach the crawling claw and kind of wave at it and do things to it where you're like, it doesn't know I'm here. And then your stealth check versus the perception check the professor has, I believe it's a -5 when you're sleeping on perception.
Seems reasonable.
It's pretty easy to sneak up on him. He is a old man. Nat 1.
You should have You should have a higher perception check than that because you do have the mark of the moon that gives you a +5. Oh, you're at a -5. That's right. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Nat 1. He's in the.
But I rolled a 2.
He's in a fit. He's in a fit of some sort of nightmare, and as you're like, let me divine Sinclair, you actually see Sinclair's face sort of ripple across the professor's face while he's sleeping.
Excellent.
And you end up touching something that you perhaps were not expecting.
I'm going to let it just chill me to the bone.
Where would you like me to paste this?
Sink back into my skull.
Yeah, this one I'm not going to share. The way we're going to learn about this is how Fereosae reacts to this information. Boop.
Yes.
I just said to you and I am.
Yes, let us take a look.
The suspense.
Oh. Hey. What is that thing there?
Is that childhood trauma?
Same thing.
Sinclair is.
You've been hitting it tonight, Matt. Your legend lores are like, tell me about this one thing.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Fereosae just always stands a little bit farther away from the professor now.
Delightful. Out of in character, I'm not going to mention anything to anyone on this because Henry's my friend, and Sinclair might be useful, but we'll see if we can help ameliorate some of those tendencies to some extent. I'll try and work to help keep him saner. But I don't know that anybody else can actually help on that, so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, what disturbs you is that after you sort of touch him, he's like having the rest of his dream as Sinclair, but he's not fighting. It's like he's sleeping peacefully.
Ah. Sinclair sleeps peacefully.
Yep.
And Henry does not. Interesting. Okay. Out of character, does Luke have this information?
No.
Okay.
He's never legend lord himself.
Fair enough.
No, we keep that buried deep down.
I will try to occasionally sit down with the professor in a quiet moment and talk to him about his friend Sinclair.
Okay. Let's say a couple days after you cast this, it's like the day after Legend Lore Day. You find the professor. Thurgus is there, but Thurgus is kind of being taught by Christopher.
Sure.
While
Thurgus is doing math.
While Zephyros is actually, let's get to Zephyros for a moment. Zephyros, you originally were doing the research into Kazavon, and you kind of picked it back up where you left off.
Okay.
What are you trying to learn about?
I know Kazavon worshipped 3 ancient beings, I think.
Yep.
He knows the necromancer seemed interested in the nature of the pearls themselves. So we know Kazavon was sort of broken into pieces, and pieces went. And there are 7 relics of Kazavan. It's not written down. It's kept hidden. We know there's a skull, claws, fangs, horns, ribs, tailbone, wings. Sorry, I'm just going through my notes here quickly, and I'm sort of just ramping back up on this quick. So we know to get into the pearl, we can only get in by the blessing of Kazavan.
Oh, there we go.
And now we have the shield made of the scale of Kazavan, which Thurgus has, right?
Yep.
There's a book of Olympian language. I think the thing that Zephyros was stuck was Heshmala was not in the Tartarian globe of pearls, and that stuck with Zephyros. Like, he's not sure what that means. So he's sort of... Yeah, go ahead.
Not in the Tartarian globe of pearls?
Yeah. There were a bunch of things that we could identify, and there were a bunch that we could not identify. Heshmala was not one of the ones we could identify. So that doesn't mean Heshmala wasn't one of the ones we couldn't identify. But we also don't know, and there were a bunch of ones that were dead. There was nothing there.
I see. So is your question that you're going to spend time in the library trying to answer where is Heshmala?
Well, that's where that thread ended in my notes here. So that's as far as we went.
Okay.
So I don't know if we as a group would have discussed this or figured out if there was anything specific that we wanted to know further that we didn't know here.
That sounds like something that Zephyros wants to know.
Well, Zephyros was definitely upset or intrigued by the fact that Heshmala wasn't. He couldn't identify where Heshmala was. So that's certainly something Zephyros is interested in. But I don't. I don't know if we as a group would have discussed this as a bunch of jerks trying to figure out if there's anything in Kazavan or anything about Kazavan that was intriguing to us. So out of character, was there anything that we as a group would have wanted to see more than that?
Yeah, I was thinking about doing some. I think we should try and maybe figure out where the other pieces are. We're still trying to figure out what his weakness was specifically.
What was?
His weakness.
Yeah.
That's the big one. I think another one that the professor definitely wants to look into is where is the sword Serethtial right now? That one, I wanted to burn some page-bound epiphanies for some of that at some point as well.
So we already know that there are 7 relics of Kazavan, but it was where they are, it was not written down, it was kept hidden. So I don't know if Zephyros could learn that, because it wasn't written down.
How do we know it wasn't written down?
When we were, let me see, where were we?
So you know that one of the heroes that ended up settling here knew about where one of the pieces of Kazavan were. Mm-hmm. The other heroes did not settle here and therefore would not have told the others. Like, they scattered these things.
Right.
They know about the Midnight Fangs. The Midnight Fangs were stored, I believe, beneath the foundation of Foundry.
I have a note here that says Eliosa has the fangs.
That is the queen.
Not Foundry.
Grand Station?
Grand Station. Thank you.
Yeah. So we know Iliosa has the fangs, and there should be a skull, claws, horns, ribs, tailbone, and wings.
Yeah, this repository of information does not seem to have anything about where the other heroes went with the other pieces of Kazakh.
Yeah, which means there's no way Zephyros can learn that here.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we can figure out something about who would know something about it. So we know who the person was here that knew about the fangs, for example. And that person might know who the other people were and where they went.
Yeah.
So if we could track them down, we could maybe
track them down over distance as well as time. But sure.
Yeah.
So you're looking for the names of the heroes that survived.
Well, that would be the secondary thing. The primary thing is we're still trying to figure out what is Kassavan's weakness.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just checking my notes to see if we haven't discovered that yet, but I don't think we have. I think there's a sword somewhere as well here.
Yeah, that's the sword that defeated him that had the power of a pearl in it, Cerithio. We should definitely try that. I think we're probably going to need before we face it. Like, no matter what, we're probably going to need that thing. Or some other weapon with the power of a pearl in it.
Yeah, and the last location of the sword was in a pearl called Scarfat. It's a style of Anquani name. So it could be one of the pearls marked in an X on the Great Wheel, but we don't know.
I guess then the question is, where is Scarfat?
Sure.
Yeah, we don't know. Okay. So we could try and learn the location of Scarfat, and what's the weakness of Kassavan.
All right, who's taking the lead, and what skill are you using?
So
if you want, I can take the lead and do Pagebound Epiphany and crank out a really high number here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Probably this is knowledge. Would this be planes or geography?
You're kind of asking where, and it's its own pearl, so I think planes would be most suitable.
All right, so I'll have a plus 34 on my roll when I cast Pagebound Epiphany.
And then are there aids from Fereosae and Zephyros?
Yes.
Okay.
Auto aid, yeah.
Plus two.
Does Thurgus have planes?
Thurgus has a little bit of planes, but he only has +5 unless you're identifying a monster.
Got it.
If it counts for the purposes of identifying weaknesses, monster weaknesses.
Yeah, because they're asking, they shifted from weaknesses and they're actually now asking, where is Scarfat?
Then I could try and aid with a +5.
Okay.
Hey, look at that.
You do. And then the Sun Shaman also pointed you in the right direction to which part of the library. Thankfully, it wasn't the part that got destroyed by the disintegrate ray. And that gives you an additional +4.
Okay. All right, here we go. 47. Low roll.
Okay. You find it's not like Kassavan's journal, but it's like a military. It's actually really boring. It's like some sort of old account of the movement of slaves and materials. And there's a landmark that it talks about as a dangerous but essential stop on the way to Scarfat through the desert. The place is called Dead Crocodile Oasis.
What a name.
Dead Crocodile Oasis is in the desert somewhere. You think it might actually be an ancient description of Bosterra? And it leads to something called the Pylons. And that was the destination of this supply caravan to supply basically Kazavon's armies and to give him tribute.
Okay, I think probably the next thing we'll ask then is like find some references to Dead Crocodile Oasis. We're like, where is that? What is that?
Yeah, your knowledge planes now like basically tells you that the pylons is where the connection point is to Scarfat.
Okay.
But that that caravan only wasn't allowed into Scarfat. They just delivered something to Scarfat.
Okay. So
Or
we
to,
need to
or
basic
to the gate that leads to the pearl that is Scarfat. The word citadel was mentioned several times, but you think that's where the goods are supposed to go, not where the caravan went. They went to something called the pylons.
Did they leave from the crocodile place?
No, they
And
left.
go to the pylons?
They left from some town that could have been Bosterra Station,
Okay.
but it had a different name.
Yeah.
And they traveled through the desert, and it feels like it's a significant way. And that after a significant travel through the desert, they stopped at the Dead Crocodile Oasis. There were some losses of their guards and slaves at the Dead Crocodile Oasis, and there was a note saying, Sobek receives his due.
Okay. Could I lead a knowledge geography
Yes, with your
on
almanac.
Dead Crocodile Oasis with my almanac? Yeah. Let's take a look. What does this almanac give me? If I study it for a little bit, I can get... I have it in here somewhere. The Almanac of Pesh and Lin is what it's called. Ah. Oh, right. The details about it are on the Loot and Treasure in the library. The book Almanac of Pesh and Lin +4 to knowledge geography. Okay. So this gives me a +23, and I can take 20 on it with Bardic. So that gives me a 43 plus anyone who's willing to aid me.
Zephyros will aid.
I'll aid as well.
Okay, what's the skill check?
47.
Geography.
I don't know that shit.
You don't know where you are.
I got survival.
You can't read a map.
You need some survival? I got survival.
Pixel aids.
I'd let you aid with a survival, but at a DC 15 as opposed to 10.
I have +25 survival.
Okay, so you're able to actually go through the book and go, okay,
Yeah.
they spent this many days feeding pack animals, and like, okay, I kind of get where they went.
So this cracks 50. Is this the Valley of monuments?
The Valley of the Titans?
Yeah, the Valley of the Titans.
No, it's
Pylons?
it's in the deep desert, kind of in a different direction.
Oh, very nice. Good.
They are describing Bosterra Station. They do talk about some oases that are maybe no longer active or things that you've already passed. And it's a good 10-day if you know how to get where you're going from where all the Rakastan villages are into the desert. It's across where the Cindermaw lives. but there should be an ancient road that is visible from high up, because caravans did spend a lot of time going back and forth. The Scarfat Oasis from where the Castan villages are is probably, the Dead Crocodile Oasis is probably a 7-day walk, and then from the Oasis is another 3-day walk.
Okay, nice.
The pylons of Scarfat are on Bosterra.
Excellent.
All right. Okay. And we have a general idea of how to get there. It sounds like we could probably with wind walking, we could fly there, or if it's visible in the shadow realm, perhaps faster. Maybe there's a shadow of this road that still exists.
If we wind walk and bring our friend Wicked Paws along, he could scout for us as well.
Ah, yes. He did say if we need any help traversing the desert, didn't he?
Yes.
Shall we ask what is this Dead Crocodile Oasis? What exactly is this?
Your companions that have spent many days in markets selling goods and gathering the things you want, and how are things going here? Kind of, they arrive out of the sands.
I shake Bookerbeck. Did you find muleback cords? I need to know.
Was that in his list?
No.
You didn't tell me you needed it. How am I supposed to get what you need?
I need the Bookerbeck. You don't understand. It's very important.
This is about the boulders, isn't it?
Don't you fucking judge me.
I'm not judging you. You're the strongest amongst us. Sorry, Trojan.
Yeah, well. You win some, you lose some.
Trojan, I gotta drink those things. Give me one of those mutagen things.
It makes you sick, right?
Well, yeah, you like vomit.
It made you sick the last 3 times. What do you think the 4th one?
I can do it this time, I promise.
Oh, you're an idiot. All right. Trojan gives him reluctantly this potion that Thurgus tries to flex a bunch and then basically goes running for a bin.
The room.
Making a mess in a back alcove of the library.
Well, we'll prestidigitate that.
I hear that you went and visited the Albino and our friends there.
Indeed we did.
How did that go?
They're getting a bit cabin fever, shall we say. But I think they'll be a little more cozy now after sharing some spells, thanks to Zephyros. But they are eager for a fight against the Queen. They very much would like to avenge their honor, their fallen comrades, that sort of thing.
Okay, Boogerbeck's looking at some of the things that you were researching. The crawling claw points at an oasis.
Yes, but read what's ahead of it. It's not just an oasis, it's a dead crocodile oasis.
Yes?
That does not sound like fun, does it?
Have you heard of it, Boogerbeck?
I have not traveled there.
I guess merchants used to have a trade route to it long ago. The road still seems to exist.
You have not traveled there, but have you heard of it?
Yeah, Boogerbeck does not have knowledge geography, and he does not have survival. He's a city boy.
Never heard of it.
If a good road is not running there, then, well... Are there any people there? We can make friends with them and trade.
Perhaps they're crocodiles.
Get some leather.
Yeah, can we do a check of what is the crocodile oasis? Why is it called Crocodile Oasis?
No, it's called the Dead
Crocodile. We have a name of a thing that took its toll on them, right?
Do we?
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep on switching maps because I have hidden maps that actually have the things in them. Okay. Yeah, I could just. All right.
That creature's name might be something that we could look up.
Oh,
Yeah,
God is due. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, there was some creature who Marty gave us the name of it, and said that the merchant caravan lost some people to it. This creature.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the one that left a
Put
note
its
that says
full on.
Sobek needs its due, that one? The one
Yeah.
with a note that says Sobek or something needs its due?
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Saw
what
that,
was
and yeah.
Who is Sobek? Yeah, this is a knowledge religion.
Are you out of those nifty 20s?
I have one more. I have 2 a day.
I have a plus 25 religion. Don't know if that helps.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I got 23, but I can add 10 to it with another page-bound epiphany.
Yeah, do that, and I'll just give you a +2.
I've only got a 20, so I can auto aid.
All right, I'll lead on this one. 1d20 plus religion, right?
Yep.
33.
The library is only giving you a +2 on this, but the information wasn't in the particular stack of books that the Sun Shaman pointed you towards, but you find some help.
I tell you about that one
Bookerbeck's-
time I met some gods, and I give you an aid.
Nice. Bookerbeck's here talking. He's a pretty religious guy. Does he aid?
4 aids plus the library would give you another +10, essentially.
And I think Bookerbeck's got religion. Yep, +15. He auto aids.
Yeah, so I think you're rolling at +40.
So it should be Fereosae, Zephyros, Thurgus, the library, Bookerbeck.
Yep.
Is that should be 5 aids then? Yep, plus 33, so 43.
Nice.
And 20 on the die. There we go.
Sinclair was an old friend.
You actually find a write-up about Sobek, also could be spelled Sebek, is one of the old deities of the Ankwani pantheon. He was depicted as a anthropomorphic crocodile in some images. I found a really cool image. I could just drop this down. You actually find a sketch of him with your...
Nice.
Thurgus, you were able to help with this because you kind of wanted to learn about anthropomorphic races, like the inherited races, and for whatever reason, there aren't a bunch of crocodile people wandering around, although Sobek's name came up as one of the ancient gods, but he just for whatever reason didn't raise a race of animals into people. What can we tell you about Sobek? He was a wicked god, also known as the Smiling Death. During his height, he was the god of crocodiles, rivers, river hazards, crocodiles, and wetlands. He is a neutral evil deity. Who the Titans got annoyed with. And apparently one of the Titans wrestled with Sobek and killed him. The corpse of Sobek still resides at the Dead Crocodile Oasis.
Oh, nice.
Crocodiles appearing out of nowhere was a thing in Sobek's, I guess, religion. You think his priests might have been able to summon crocodiles. You get the sense that oasis, while yes, there's water there, crocodiles may still haunt that place to this day.
Okay, so prepare for a crocodile fight, crocodile heavy encounter once we get there. Thurgus, do you know yet what crocodiles are weak against?
I absolutely do. It's swords.
I would have thought hippopotamus.
No, turns out it's swords. Everything is swords.
You think
Titans.
Sobek was killed by Prometheus.
Oh, very
Sounds
nice.
like he's weak against wrestling as well.
I believe the correct term is wrestling.
And apparently this happened even before the time of Kazavon. So this is like ancient history over 1,000 years.
That's a long time for a dead crocodile to be torturing people in a dead crocodile oasis.
It's the original pay-per-view event
Very nice.
this Saturday. Prometheus versus Sobek. Okay, so, well, we know where we need to go. This oasis. We know what will happen when we get there. Presumably a swarm of man-eating crocodiles will accost us. From there should be hopefully some indication as to how we find the pylons. Once we reach the pylons, we'll need to deduce how to activate the planar gate to traverse to the Pearl of Scarfat. Once in Scarfat, we can begin our search for the legendary sword of Cerithial, with which we can finally kill Kazavon. Am I understanding correctly? Did I miss any steps?
No, it should pierce Kazavon's defenses.
Yes, it was
And
still
it
would
has
be
many
good.
defenses.
And it would clearly be as simple as that. Not going to be
Okay.
difficult.
Upon spelling out that plan, you notice that there is light coming from the cards of Zellara.
Oh, well, perhaps she's forgiven me. Perhaps she's come to tell me that all sins are forgiven.
I'll take the cards out.
Okay.
I'll
Lara.
smooth down my crazy old man hair a little bit.
You.
This time, Zellara manifests a vision of herself beside her cards.
Ah.
Let me just find her token. There we go.
Is this a direction that will bring you closer to peace? Defeating the queen, the ally of the Archfey who holds your son?
She glances kind of in that, like, she's looking at you, she's kind of angry, and then flicks back to looking a little bit more serene above her cards. You get the sense that she's still very angry that you haven't taken steps towards freeing her son.
Yeah, fair.
She does give you a slow nod, and there is a pen, like a feather quill at the other end of the table that begins to move.
Ah, I'll spread out a little piece of paper.
She does write down the symbol that represents the trifold powers.
Yes.
and she begins to write a riddle.
Oh.
It says, "Fate of Steel, Serithtial, her cage for years sustained, 4 enthralled in lost Scarfat, undead to keep her chained." She underlines it or like separates the page, begins to write something also below it. She is empty.
The queen?
You get a slight but perceptible shake of the head.
Is that a shake yes or a shake no?
Shake no.
No.
You notice that there's this circle that begins to go violently around the word Serithtial. Oh no, the internet again? Seriously? Come on, man.
Problems.
Guys, I think I figured out the math while he's disconnected. Oh, he's back.
What is with the
Is
internet?
the math 5?
The internet.
The circle goes around the words "she is empty."
Circle goes around Serithtial.
Ah, she lacks the potent.
Oh my god, my internet. I pay my bill. Why is it doing this? All right, you guys are coming back again. For some reason, the internet froze again. Let me restart the broadcast. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
math tools also dropped.
For real though, I think I got this math figured out. I think so. I think Matt's suggestion of being a quadruped was actually the thing that puts it over multiplicatively. I gotta double back and look at the math, but I think it involves muleback chords, and the what was that spell that I was talking about?
There's
invoke
legendary
like
proportions.
invoke deity or something.
Legendary proportions make you one size bigger.
No, I got it from Righteous. I have the size bonus from Righteous Might. There's another spell that is like a +6 strength enhancement bonus.
Oh, you're figuring out how to pick up 1.3 million pounds? So
Oh yeah. I've got the math figured out. I think I have the money right now to do it. I just need to the question is, can I find a scroll? Can I make the holy symbol? And can I get muleback chords? If I can do that, I can pull it off.
This is actually
And Zephyros has 24k of Zollars as well that we can use.
All right, let's go back to what. That's funny. Thurgus is doing math off to the side. Courage is like, just get stronger. You could also take a level of like something that gives you a mutagen.
I could, but I don't think I need it.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I can do. I can craft an armor enhancement that gives me another 50%.
Does righteous might stack with legendary proportions?
It's not legendary proportions. There's an invoke deity, which is a +6 enhancement bonus to strength. Righteous might is a size bonus.
Legendary proportions is a size bonus as well, but I think it's not just that. Like size categories add a multiplier on carry capacity.
Yeah, I'll get the size bonus from Righteous Might.
You'll get one size bonus from Righteous Might.
Yeah.
What if you get another size bonus from Legendary Proportions? Not a size bonus to strength, but a size-related increase to carrying capacity.
I'll have to take a look. Sorry, if the stream's back up.
I think the stream's back up here.
Sorry.
internet.
Apologize. I distracted people.
Come, put a pin in that. Come
again.
back to that. I
That's
like
fine.
where your head's at.
Yeah, absolutely. This is there's something in here. We can get there.
I vaguely recall Adam doing strength math for Uker because his goal was to make the strongest character ever, and I remember him saying 1,000,000. So, me just giving you 1,000,000, I haven't worked out the problem. Like, if it's possible, it's possible. Maybe you need to be
come back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're working it apparently. Yeah, Zellara begins to circle Serithtriol to the answer of who is empty.
Is it? It's empty of that power of the pearls that gave it the force to pierce Kazavan.
You see this look of absolute sadness across her face, and she gives you a nod.
Yes. Would we have to take the power of a pearl then in order to give it what it needs?
She, didn't know the answer to your question, and her eyes sort of roll back into her head, and she's concentrating.
Perhaps others have already taken this power.
Her eyes grow wide, and there is light, like positive energy light, flowing out of her eyes.
Sweet.
And if we could find this power
Smeared on the page like she was doing it with her finger, very quickly, like she spilled the ink and she's quickly trying to write something down. It is a 4-letter word starting with an E. Esri.
Ah, excellent.
Ooh.
It is where we travel to next.
You see a couple of little cat prints in the dark ink that was spilled on the page.
Excellent.
She flickers.
Oh, before you fade, please give us some indication how we can find our way back into the prison where your son is held. We've lost the key that gave us entry before.
She looks angry. And the two pieces of ivory that you guys are using to plumb the depths and secrets of the entire world and the place where you live begin to shake and rattle together in Fereosae's pocket.
Please, Zellara, I know that I am not worthy.
And then she disappears with this sort of this smell of like a licorice rotting ointment.
Perhaps we can spend a bit more time modifying Ludo's memories after we return Esri.
There must be another way there. It must be a place still within the pearls, no? Oh, it can't be outside of the prison.
The key must be within the pearls, yes. Although it might be within Baba Yaga's hut, because Ludo was captured and his double is the one that has the key. That happened inside the hut. I think it might have been sent out into the pearls, though, to do damage.
Yes.
I think it may be in league with the Queen. It may have been in league with the Mantis Assassins.
Yes.
That burned Van Carlo's school.
But the hut itself, it has access to the dungeon underneath the endless cavern where we believe her son is held, no?
The dungeon underneath what?
Under the hut. Do you remember? Through, I believe, the fireplace
Yes.
gained entry. That Was that not where her son was held?
Yes, wait a moment. I know a way. I know a way.
Oh,
The well. The well in the place where the satyrs sleep. In the in the Villa Malavella, in the forest that surrounds it.
oh,
I believe the well might lead to the hut.
really?
So it's not the key, but it might be a way into the hut.
And
This
would
might
that-
not be true, but I think I remember seeing that was the case. How do I know that? I don't think
With
I'm
your
sure.
dealings with the Fae, I do believe you had some conversations with them about those satyrs inhabiting our wood. Was that it?
We learned a decent amount about them, sleeping and whatnot. But I thought that I recalled that there was a place inside that we could see to the outside, and that it was a well.
She grows angry, Zellara. I fear what is being done to her son as well in that pit. If we can even save him at this point, the damage done to his soul may be even more than what's been done to mine.
Yes, about that. Never mind.
The crawling claw goes up to your hand and just sort of taps it like, there.
Yes. Well, Esri first,
Oh, yes. Well, what is the order of operations here?
and then an attempt to get back into the hut.
Perhaps, though, Thurgus, you are a bit excited over there. Before we leave this place, please tell us, do you have a solution?
I'm not quite there yet. I'm working on it.
Well, I suppose we can check on Esri first. If Thurgus has finished his math homework, then perhaps before we move on to the Crocodile Oasis, we make a quick stop and gain the power of one of the most beneficial titans to bipedal kind.
Pixel's like, yay, the dreaming!
I'd like to point out I'm very confident I can push the boulder off the platform. I have not figured out how I could carry it over my head.
I do believe to truly impress Titan, you must shoulder it as he shouldered the world.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Could someone help you push it over, says Crojan? Seems like an awfully big stone to move yourself.
Probably
That
not.
seems like
Atlas,
cheating.
Atlas seems to be a bit strict, eh?
I mean, you gotta stand there with it on your back.
Yeah, it's the holding it over my head part that's hard. It's a lot of weight.
Well, continue with your studies. We have a few days before I think we need to make our journey through the desert.
That much weight, you'll sink into the earth.
Oh, it's very likely I will shatter my entire body.
Not with that attitude. Come now.
You can be healed. We can bring you back.
You'll then turn into the liquid blood which your god so adores if you're squashed by this thing.
Oh, it'll be a great way to go. Don't get me wrong.
So we're not going to this crocodile oasis first. We're going to go rescue Esri.
Says
Esri first, yes.
She's been dreaming for far too long, I think.
Hey, it's been months now.
Yes. What's another week? Yes? No. I think it's time. It's time to dream.
What's this dreaming? The thing that the tribe of the moon does?
Yes. It is a very strange place.
Do all of us have to go in?
I suppose not. Though it is quite an interesting world. I would recommend those with an unburdened imagination to join us. Creativity does earn you extra marks in the dream world.
I suspect Macronum's listening to this and he's very excited.
Oh, I get to go there and need some new spells.
Remember, he had that colorful room.
Macronom's romper room.
Oh, you're gonna bring me there, right?
Wouldn't leave you behind.
Oh,
It's Thurgus' favorite place.
I fucking hate that place.
You don't like your dreams, Thurgus?
I hate being weak. It's the fucking worst.
Don't worry, you got that Titan's blessing.
Yeah, but do I put that in my strength or do I put that in my vitality? Oh, just be really strong, but like, just, glass chin sort of thing, I guess. Fuck it, let's do it.
so I suppose we'll go back to the House of the Moon then. I'm sure they've been waiting for us.
Yes, I think it may be time. Before we go, though, Fereosae, could you take a look at this? I've been meaning to ask you to help me work out the command words for it.
Oh, yes.
I'll show her the...
House of the Bone?
Yeah.
The Bone House or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you now know the command words to make it large and small, like basically big and small. You know, this is another 250 gold pieces of legend lore. You know that you need to take everything out of it, or anything left behind will kind of get ruined. Like it's not an infinite. It's not an extra dimensional chest, basically.
Yep.
And that it does summon guardians, and the person who activates the tower can command the guardians. The guardians replace themselves over time. There might be some in the. There's been enough time since you battled the priests and the shadow priest and the assassin and the devil. The bloat mage.
It makes 4 per month. No more than 4 can be active at once. I have as a note here.
Yeah, they're probably active, and you'll definitely see them when you expand the tower to full size.
And by summoning them, I can command them, right?
Yep.
Sweet. Does it have any like defensive spells on the building?
No, it's just a very hard building to destroy. Like it's supernaturally hard. I'll write up some stats. I forgot about this one. I'll make a note.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna use it at the moment, but at some point, I will probably use it. And you said there was. I'll subtract the gold. What was it? 250 was the cost for that?
Yep. Okay, so you guys are going in what order? Go find Ezri.
Yes, I think we're gonna go find Ezri. If it seems possible, I think we should make an argument for trying to complete the Atlas trial before we kind of move out of this area. Okay. Just because whatever is in there, whatever boon Atlas would give us is probably like crazy good. It may even be like the power of a pearl. Who knows?
Right.
And then I think we would go after. We would go to the Dead Crocodile Oasis, try and find a way to the pylons, try and find a way into Scarfat, and from there search for the sword. I don't think we're ready to go back to station and try the well theory until we're like pretty stacked with
Ezri, Atlas trial, Dead Crocodile, Scarfat, then the hut.
I think so. Is there any other side things, like anything with the world tree that we think we want to do? I know there was talk like this pearl is artificially turned into a desert that was another one. Maybe we'll find out more about that. Anything else we're missing we want to explore?
This sounds right.
Yep. Sounds good to me, too, says Zephyros.
You know, I mean, number 2, assuming that strength math can get worked out of it there.
There is a plan. Your research has finally yielded enough information for the heroes to figure out what their next step is. They've prepared themselves as much as they can with the loot that they're given, or that they had earned, and we're going to call at the end of 60 days of research and crafting, your downtime is done.
Congratulations, everyone.
And your 13th level. 13th, right? Or
Yep.
15th? 13th.
Yeah.
13th.
Oh yeah, I'll take 15.
Yeah. Like I want to lift the boulder. I'll be very interested in seeing how you guys lift the 1 million pound boulder.
That would be
Thurgus
very
needs
interesting.
one extra
Yeah.
day of downtime.
What's that?
I said Thurgus needs one extra day of downtime.
Well, we went through 5 days of research, so
okay.
Thurgus could have had that day because you weren't actually looking through.
He's got a
looking
little
through
time to prep. Then I'll get creative.
Okay. So you guys, you think you're going to be able to do this without money?
Well, we have money.
Oh, I see.
I mean, hold on. It depends on how much money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think we've got money. And the professor would definitely,
He doesn't
kick
need
in
much
some money.
So there's an adventure to go get Ezri, and then you guys, when you guys are out of the dream realm, you're going to try the Atlas trial, which may involve some running around and buying a few things to get Thurgus up to.
And Thurgus, just to be clear, Zephyros has 22,000 Zollars we can use.
It's not it's not that much. Most of the things that he would need, are going to be pretty trivial. The hardest one is going to be finding a 6th level scroll. And it's a lot easier to find Invoke Deity than it is going to be to find Legendary Proportions, because that's Alchemist 6. That's much higher than Cleric 6. Cleric 6, like Bukrabek, might even be able to do.
Have we gotten access to, a market that sells 6 circle?
Yeah. We've bought 7th level spells.
Okay. So all of this is everything you're thinking is very doable, huh?
For the most part, yeah, but right now I'm only up to 7,900 or 794,000 that I can lift over my head. I can do 36 3.5 million or something like that push. Let me...
So you can roll the boulder around, no problem.
Yeah, I can push it off. It's a question of whether or not I can pick it up. That's the hardest part. Because, I can get up to 3.9 million on a push. I can fucking push this thing around Bosterra. The question is, can I lift it over my head? I will fucking yeet this rock. But, if I have to pick it up, then that's a problem.
What about, just lift it? Standing still, isn't that different?
The problem is that in order to lift something over your head, you can only lift according to the rules. It says a character can lift as much as their maximum load over their head, and so that's the problem.
And how long can you do this for? A minute? What are we talking here?
That not very long.
Yeah.
No, we're talking rounds.
Yeah.
At most a minute, because I'd have to burn rounds of rage in order to keep my strength that high.
Enough to get it, pick it up, take it to that center area, and put it there or hold it for a second.
Wait a minute, you can lift off the ground double your maximum load.
Oh, is it over your head that's your maximum load?
Over your head is the maximum load, but off the ground is double your maximum load.
As long as it doesn't have to be over my head. Give me 1 second. Times 2. I could do 1.589 then, given the strategy that I have right now.
That's
So
enough.
here, I'll post this in chat.
You
guys
can
get
only
that.
stagger around with that, but
That should be good enough, though, I think.
So look at that.
31 strength, plus 4 for rage, plus 4 size, plus 4 enhancement on top of the 2 you've already got because Invoke Deity is plus 6.
Yeah, it doesn't stack, so I'd only be netting 4.
Plus 8 for muleback cords. Quadrupedness, sure. And then ant haul. Burdenless armor.
Yeah, I can craft that in a day because I don't sleep. It costs 4K fast craft,
Okay.
and that's plus another 50%.
What
so
is
it gets
this? What is the spell required to create muleback cords?
Probably ant haul.
It's not. It's
Giant strength.
yeah, it's bull
It's
strength.
okay, so
We can just
muleback
make that.
cords would then stack with ant haul.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Muleback cords counts your strength as 8 higher,
Yep.
and ant haul multiplies your carrying capacity by 3.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
then
that's
quadruped is through like some sort of evolution you're gonna do.
Yeah, so
or-
instead of extra arms, I would give myself extra legs. So I could do better squats.
Thurgus tour. They're all bare legs too. Weird.
Yeah, if you look at the rules for
you're
carrying
gonna have to
capacity-
regress a little bit to solve the Atlas trial. That's funny.
Yeah, if you look at the rules for carrying capacity, quadrupeds get to carry more. And
Yeah.
so, like, it's better to have more legs than it is to have more arms.
For carrying, yeah.
With that strategy, the longest I could keep it up would be 13 times 6 seconds, barely over a minute.
It should be enough to at least move it into position,
I
right?
mean, I hope that's enough to be fucking impressive. Like, but I couldn't do that for 3 days. You're out your fucking mind.
It's worth a try.
Yeah. You can
Just
get it
the-
over there and lift it off the ground, which few things on this pearl could do.
Yeah.
Probably,
I think it's probably
yeah.
But yeah. Anyways,
That big worm
that's-
could do it.
That's
that's
funny.
the
Yeah.
strat as I have it so far. There might be some bonuses sitting around somewhere that I haven't found yet that I might have to go looking for.
All right, we'll start the Dreamtime adventure next time. I was hoping we could get to it tonight, but looking at like, we're not going to start the adventure at 25 minutes left before the end.
Yeah,
So-
that's
Yeah.
And we, as is tradition, we need a name for our game. What is the name for tonight?
Oh geez. Maybe something with downtime. Gotta get up to get down.
I like the sneakiness of Fereosae doing some stuff with
Yeah, that was good. With the Sinclair legend
with
lore.
Sinclair, yeah.
Legendary lore?
We also did a lot of like we put ledger lore up there because we did all of our downtime and stuff.
Yeah.
Legend, wait for it. Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Learned a bunch, did a lot of commerce.
Talked about a lot of dead crocodiles.
Yeah. I had a nice feast. Thurgus discovered his love of learning.
I know how to kill things a little better now.
Boulder math.
Yeah, Boulder math is good. That's really good.
No, not Boulder Man, Boulder Math.
Yeah, Boulder math for sure.
What's Thurgus doing? He's doing math.
Boulder Math.
Just drawing like these really shitty like geometry diagrams. They're all like stepping at Thurgus, but like in one he's got
Rock
extra
part
legs,
boulder.
and he's like,
Yeah, lift and learn.
Like it's just like a picture of a circle and then a picture of a bear, and you're just like drawing more veins on the muscles, and you're like, yeah, this could work.
What was the metaphor tonight? There was the metaphor about the prison.
Oh yeah, we're like the scratchings on a prison wall for the amusement of the prisoner there. We talked about the prison. Did we have a crisp metaphor though?
No. You did call it a prison.
This place is a prison. Prison of our own devising.
All right. Placeholder is going to be taboo lore.
Nice.
I think the most important things were you figured out which way to go or what you're going to do, what your plan is, and then which gives me the map of what I need to plan for.
We gave Thurgus a new focus. He's been pretty rudderless, directionless since he defeated the worm. He really hasn't had, we have to have something to keep his mind on other than just, why don't we go kill Kazimon? Oh, I'm queasy.
And we have to give him math that occupies all fingers.
Right.
Yeah, he's very quiet now over there doing math.
Poor Thurgus.
I mean, that's at least better than Zephyros' trade math, right? Remember that?
It's just a blank parchment with 3 images of Thurgus getting bigger and stronger with each childlike drawing. It's like Thurgus real big, Thurgus really big with 4 legs. I did the math.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Look, in order to do squats, you gotta strengthen those legs. But if you had 2 more legs,
right?
And then the drawing just gets these legs.
Do you have to spend time retraining, or is this something you wake up in the day and you choose which evolution?
Literally, the way that Christopher works is every morning he gets to choose his evolutions. So it's like you wake up from a night's sleep and you've dreamed him a different way.
So if you went to Waterworld, you could become Aqua Thurgus, by virtue of getting the right evolutions?
Yeah, I know I could get the swim bonus. I don't know if water breathing is a 2-point evolution or not.
Oh, I see.
So what have you got now? Like today, Thurgus has what?
Extra arms.
Extra arms.
Yeah.
And when you lift the rock, he's going to have what?
Extra legs.
So today is arm day.
Yeah. Tomorrow's leg day.
Tomorrow's leg day.
Yeah.
Never skip leg day.
Never skip leg day.
Never.
Right.
Rule number one.
That's gonna be the never skip leg day. All right, and I'm gonna drop the hint for next game because we're talking about names of the games. The name of the first adventure in the Dream Realm is called the Dreamboat.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that'll be a good one. Okay,
is it me?
Well, we have all the tokens for the characters, their Dreamtime selves. There were a few characters that had never been into the Dreamverse before. I don't know if you're bringing everyone, but I did create a token for Tech for Bukerbeck. I think Krojan. I'll have to double check, but I think everyone is
bring as many people as we can. I think
everyone is covered. Yep.
Nice.
And it'll be fun, wild and wacky.
Never skip leg day.
For those,
I was wondering
watching,
what you're excited about there.
Yeah. For those.
I built it up.
For those watching on YouTube, thanks for your support. For those hanging out in the channel tonight, it was good seeing you folks here. And as always, we hope you enjoyed this as much as we do. Peace. Have a good night.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.